breathe, and you'll see that I live in a world that don't give a fuck, bitch.
And that is the one question that they just cannot answer. If you're, if I ask you, why do we need a self-thinking computer? And your answer is to figure out tough questions. Of course, I'm going to ask you, why not make smarter people?
He did sell 10 million records, but crack fiends bought 10 million rocks. That don't mean crack is good. That don't mean nothing. Selling records don't mean nothing. The reason, I'm down with him because he's a brother and he's making his mail. But, however, he's diluting rap. You know what I'm saying? He's playing that Sambo role, and the reason everybody's buying his record is because he's no threat, and everybody want to see Sambo dance.
You're trying to put a cap on intelligence, on knowledge, on perseverance. You're putting just a whole ceiling on it so you can control it. You want people to think that it's all these aliens out here, but it hasn't. That's you.
As the plane soared above an unfamiliar region in China, a passenger gazed out of the window, capturing a captivating video. A sense of awe and curiosity filled the air as the passenger's camera focused on a peculiar sight, a disc-shaped object, about the size of a small car, effortlessly gliding in parallel to the airplane, near one of its wings. The crispness of the video allowed the viewer
Sí, es que debe ser un metal grande o un espejo, no sé por
No,
qué.
dale, porque se dio filete en negocio.
Porque
Like, let's be honest, that's you. All these weird weather events that's been going on for the past decade, that's been you.
We're talking HARP today?
I understand why people would get all nuts about this project. It stands for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. It's a U.S. government funded project. It was built in 1993. It was a joint venture to create this area between the United States Air Force, United States Navy, DARPA, and University of Alaska Fairbanks. People say it can control the weather. People say that it can be used for like mind control. The president of Venezuela, he blamed the earthquake in Haiti. He blamed HARP for that. They can make flights crash or disappear, and it allegedly can set the atmosphere like on fire. They're basically the science fiction arm of the Department of Defense.
You know, this is what goes through my mind, dog. This is what goes through an entire thought process with me. I can't just sit here and watch something and don't see what it's supposed to be. So I'ma just say it, like, AI system is nothing but a spirit. It's a ghoul. It's a demon. It's a trapped, tortured soul. But who was the very first AI system? That's why I'm trying to get you to wrap your minds around who was the very first AI system. If all of this is true and we've had an AI system since the 1920s, who was the very first AI system? It's right there in your face, man. It's Alice. It's Alice. And just about every original AI movie, the AI system was always called Alice. So who's Alice? Did I not just get done saying that Amityville, it's a real story. They will personally tell you that Amityville is a real story. But what if it's older than what they say? Yeah, they can tell you it's real, but they don't tell you the dates. Think about it, 50 years. So if people knew that they were eating human meat in the 1980s, 80 subtracted by 50 is 30. So they were doing it in 1930s. You, everything that they present cut back by 50. Everything they present cut back by 50. So Alice, an AI system named Alice. Who is Alice? That's what we're going to get into. We're going to find out who Alice is, who the AI system is, who was it modeled after, what did they do to her? Alice in Wonderland, Alice in Freeland, Freemasonland, Alice in Disneyland, an AI system. I don't think I'm trying to help y'all help get your mind wrapped around the fact that they already are watching you.
Got vertical movement here. Elevator. He's in an elevator. We're losing our tracking. Anybody got a visual? We need to move location and get a better signal. Are you guys there yet? Negative. Wait, they stopped. Hold it.
What's your problem?
But now they're going to start putting spirits in your phone to interact with you. Okay, so let's start. We're going to start with a very special movie made by Walt Disney. A very special movie made by Walt Disney. And I want to see how intelligent you are. Because I have a lot of questions after we get done reviewing this. I want to see how intelligent you are. So let's go. Now it starts off, this is back in the day, so don't expect a lot of sound, don't expect a lot of voices. But you can read though. You know what I'm saying? Little Alice, it says full of curiosity. She goes down to pay her first visit to a cartoon studio. Remember, Disneyland's in Florida. So who's Alice really? Pay attention. There she is, she walking into the studio. Little Alice. Why? Because pure souls work better. And there's Walt Disney creating a house. Now watch. Now you see. Just keep watching. Now, do you see how he's over her? You see how he's touching her? You see how she keeps on trying to lean away and he keeps pulling her back? But he's being entertaining. He doesn't mean anything by it. He's entertaining her. See how smart y'all are. Now you see how they're in a corner. And there's a word right there beside them that says danger. And then they look over and they see all these cartoons dancing around. Could she be drugged? Could she be because they went somewhere else and now it's not on paper anymore and it says danger? Look, they're so entertained. Now you see the whole time. Now you won't pay attention to it at first because you don't think anything of it. But the whole time that the rest of the office was entertained, they were off in the corner. Just Walt Disney and this little girl just off in the corner. Are you catching on to what they're trying to tell you? Or are you just looking at it? What Alex saw would make any little girl's heart flutter. So that night when the Sandman came, look, she's trying to explain everything to her mom. She's trying to explain everything to her mom. But what if her mom's in on it? What if her mom's in on it? That's why I keep on telling people, point out somebody in the entertainment business that's not a Freemason. Even Ice Spice, her dad is a Freemason. Beyonce dad, Freemason. Jay-Z, Freemason. Kanye West, Freemason. Shaquille O'Neal, Freemason. You point out somebody, throw a rock in the industry right now and see if it hits somebody that's not a Freemason. What is one thing that everyone in the industry has in common? All of them are Freemasons, one way or another. Lil Bow Wow, Freemason. Snoop Dogg, Freemason. Why you think Bow Wow's his nephew? They ain't related by blood. Think about that. So, if your parent is a Freemason, Justin Bieber's parent, I guarantee you his dad's a Freemason. Britney Spears' parents, I guarantee you one of them is a Freemason. Justin Timberlake's parents, guarantee you one of them is a Freemason. Guarantee. 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 You cannot get in front of that camera unless you take an oath. And that oath is keep your mouth closed. It's what they call the honeymoon phase.
Units are called blue lights. All over the country, they changed all the lights to blue lights. Correct? Well, you don't know that. Yes, correct. Now, all police organizations are called what? Fraternal orders of police. Come on, Africans. They're fraternal. That's all the police organizations are fraternal orders, or the benevolent something or another. Am I right or wrong? Now, do you think that while you up in the criminal court building, they all standing on the square and doing all kind of shit, and you suffering, that they don't know something that we don't? So what I'm telling to you is that the Masonic activity infiltrated the implementation of the law. And they all work under the blue-coded system. The lower lodges 1, 2, and 3 are blue lodges. It isn't until you get to the 4th degree that you can then get off into the Masonic Scottish Rite thing. And the Albert Pike say that in the first 3 lodges, they only think they know the truth. It isn't until the 4th that we start to teach them, but what you learn in the first 3 is the crest of the law enforcement system, which is what? The code of silence. That's what you pick up in 1, 2, and 3, to shut the fuck up. And that is the crest of police work.
In the entertainment industry, those first 4 degrees of Freemasonry is about what? They're called the blue laws, the blue lodges, and it's about keeping your mouth closed. But they're kids. Kids talk. Kids run their mouths. So of course she's gonna tell her mom that, yeah, and then Mr. Disney took me into a corner and gave me something special to drink. And then everything got really spinny. But of course your mom's not trying to hear that because your mom's involved in it. She introduced you into Walt Disney. The whole reason why you get a special audience with Walt Disney is because your parents is Freemasons and they made a pledge not to say anything about what goes on behind that closed door. Why you think they have royal bloodlines in Freemasonry, even on a local level? Even on a local level, man. And y'all just not hearing what I'm saying. People sit here. I saw one dude was like, I'm just disgusted with people who have kids just to sell them. Usher was sold to P. Diddy, and her and his mom didn't go to jail. People sit here and talk about R. Kelly. Usher was sold to P. Diddy.
Lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
In the 90s, do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I
Come
mean,
on.
but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
And Diddy's not in jail. Usher's mom's not in jail. No one's in jail. You know why? Because everything's legal until you say the word no. Yeah. Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how Foxy Brown was sold to Jay-Z. A 15-year-old girl going on a tour around the country with 30-year-old grown men and she dressing like she's 20 something. Come on, man. Come on, man. Lil' Kim was sold. Come on, man. Come on, man. Everything's legal till you say the word no. Everything is legal till you say the word no. Little Alice comes back from Disney World telling her mom what Disney did to her, and Everything's legal. Why? Because she's part of it. Don't just sit here and say that parents are disgusting because they're selling off their children for money. Who are they a part of? Who are they a part of? You can't sit here and think that a program stops just because times change. You can't sit here and say, oh yeah, you know, back in the days, they used to have breeding farms for slaves. Take that concept, transfer the word slaves to Freemasons, and transfer the time, and there you have. There you have. I'm going to say it again. You can't sit here and have the mind frame of, you know, back in the days, slavers used to have breeding farms. And then you start talking about how parents are selling their children to the industry. Take the concept of what you said about breeding farms and slavery. Replace the word slavery with Freemason. Take the time in which the process was done and then just bring it to a modern time. Take those, keep the black faces, but now you add white faces on the side of it. And now you have a whole breeding farm. You have a whole breeding farm of sex trafficking, and no one says anything because everyone's part of this one house. What are the first 4 degrees of Freemasonry? Keep your fucking mouth closed. Because we're all in this one house, and what goes on in this house stays in this house. So little Alice going there telling her mom what Walt Disney did to her mom doesn't care. Her mom was prepared to hear worse. Her mom, 9 times out of 10, was prepared for her child not to come home.
Hey, nigga, is you okay? He ain't okay, nigga.
Y'all not feeling me, folks. Let's just keep going. So now she's tucking Alice in, telling her it's all just a dream. And Alice has a dream about being on a train. Like a roller coaster. Up and down. You see what they're trying to let you know? Alice went on a roller coaster ride. You feel me? Where's the loop-de-loo? Alice went on. Where's, you feel me? Who's there waiting? You see how they're impatient? They don't think she's coming. You see how it's now you see how she's high. She's drugged. This is the part that we didn't see in the beginning when Walt Disney and Alice was in the corner. Welcome to our city. You feel me? They're trying to explain to her where she is. They tell her to follow. They throw her a whole parade. Throw her a whole parade. Now, for everyone who's gonna say, well, it's animals, you can't take it serious because it's animals all over the place. You never been to a masquerade party? You've never heard of a masquerade party where the people would put on animal masks and that will be the representation for them at that party? So you can do it in real life, but you can't do it in a cartoon. In the cartoon, it's better because not only are you wearing the mask now, you are that mask. You see giraffes, you see turtles, you see monkeys, you see meerkats, you see people. Alice went to a underground masquerade party. At Disneyland with the 15th degree Templar Walt Disney, who drugged Alice in the corner at the office and told everybody to look the other way while he took this little girl underground in Disneyland where they were having a masquerade party. So how long was Alice gone from our house? Dogs in the front, the mayors of the town, and the Freemason Entertainment. And now she's gonna be the entertainment. Understanding. But see, now here comes the cannibal. Here comes the 4 cannibals, who are obviously much higher ranked. Now, Alice was supposed to be just down there to be entertainment and fun for all these old men underground under Disneyland. And then comes these 4 lions. And what are lions known for? Eating. They were once called man-eaters. So these represent cannibals. And instead of him telling Alice to hide, everybody leaves Alice right where she is. Why? Because they know that these cannibals are coming to eat Alice. Keep watching. You feel me? Do you get what he's saying? Do you see why her socks were going up and down? And then he pulled out his teeth and he started to do what? File? Are you seeing what they're trying to say? He's preparing to defile her. Alright, y'all still. So he's preparing. Now they come back for seconds. Like, that's disturbing. So, y'all, if you notice that that was the same scene from earlier, you know, it's hard to explain, but it's the same scene from earlier. So basically, the lions assault her. They assault her and they eat her innocence. And then she raises voice about them taking her innocence, about how she's gonna tell her mom and everything. So, and now so they turn back around and they come back to finish it. From being outside by a tree to being chased into a cave, the lion's den. She gets chased to the lion's den. And they assault her again. Her only escape was to go further into her mind. I always remember what a rabbit hole means in Freemasonry. A rabbit hole means escape. A rabbit hole means a hidden world. And a rabbit hole means reclusion or secret. So pay attention and notice how those animals followed her into that secret world where she was escaping. And they're still attacking her. You feel me? They chased off the rabbit because the rabbit was trying to help Alice escape. You saw how he tried to attack the rabbit, but he didn't chase the rabbit. He just wanted to scare the rabbit off. You feel me? She committed suicide. She committed suicide. You feel me? Like, she couldn't take it anymore. She committed suicide. Okay. So, now that we have seen this, why do I say that Alice is the first AI system? Well, Alice is pretty much the first everything. Think about it. MK Ultra. So why not? You know? But did you pay attention to what I was trying to show you? Did you pay attention to how in the 1920s we had CGI and 3D? You didn't think about that though. All you think about is, oh, they were in black and white. You don't think about the fact that in the 1920s, when all you can complain about was there was no sound and everything was in black and white, in the 1920s, they had CGI and 3D. Just just wrap your mind around it for a second. Just 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 for a second, just wrap your mind around it. 3D and CGI in the 1920s. If they can put a person in a cartoon in the 1920s, think about the capabilities. Think about the capabilities of it. It's endless, isn't it? People who've never seen a motion picture a day in their life. People who have never seen a motion picture a day in their life. And they see something like that. Well, yeah, it's all fun and it's all entertaining. But it's endless. If they were doing that in the 1920s, well, think about that. Just, you could fake a war. You could fake a war. You can fake a political movement. You could fake a Holocaust. Hell, you could fake slavery. Insurmountable. Oh my goodness. To think about that for a second. You could fake an entire Holocaust. That's another thing that I wanted you to pay attention to. So what if it was fake? What if the Civil War was fake? What if Independence Day was fake? If they can CGI aliens into a movie like Independence Day, and they were doing CGI in the 1920s, why can't they fake airplanes? Why can't they fake airplanes? Japan, you could fake a Holocaust. With everything that's going on, how now you realize how anti Semitism is just a phrase used to deflect people from the truth. Back when those crackers used to say that the Holocaust was fake, like I said, white people tell the truth all the time. They just don't know how to how to not be racist. White people tell the truth all the time. They just say it in a racist manner. But what if? I mean, think about it. White people used to tell us all the time, well, black people invented food stamps. Of course, it's for them. They would say it in a racist tone. Regardless of the racist tone, they were telling the truth. We invented food stamps. Reagan got the idea from the Black Panther Party. Ooh, bitch history. So you have to understand that white people can't say anything without a racist tone. So when they said that those Jews faked the Holocaust, take the racist tone out of it and actually investigate it. Now that you investigated and you found out that Hitler is a Jew and that he was blessed by the Pope to stop someone. Because if Hitler's a Jew, And Ashkenazi equals the Nazi Party. And they were trying to stop someone, but they faked the Holocaust to gain sympathy. And with that sympathy, they invaded Israel, Palestine. With that sympathy, they invaded Palestine. With that sympathy, they invaded Russia. What if they faked the damn Holocaust? Don't tell me it's not possible. You just sat here and watched Alice in the whole cartoon world. You didn't think about that, did you? You didn't think about that at all. You just sat here and watched Alice in an entirely cartoon world. Was attacked by cartoons and everything. But they can't fake a war. But they can't fake a Holocaust. You have to understand the type of progressive thought I'm on right now. And the progressive thought that I'm on is everything from the past is true. And what I mean by that, all the things that we used to say is just racist, we have to rethink it. We have to rethink everything, and we have to understand that when people hate God, they talk shit about God. Why is it that the racist joke is we like watermelon? Why is that such a racist joke? Why don't they tell us that we capitalized on watermelon farming and made millions? Because they hated that. So they have to downplay that. You understand? Everything racist that they said and taught us, rethink it, find out why they say it. You'll find hate there. You will find hate there. But think, Mississippi burning. Look up Mississippi burning. Found out that Mississippi burning wasn't even burnt down by black people. It was burned by the white people. Rosewood. Found out Rosewood really Pensacola, Florida. But at the same time, they said that Rosewood was a black-owned town. Because it's right there in front of you. Freemasons have to tell the truth. It doesn't have to be the 100% truth. You have to find knowledge. Seek and you shall find. Alice, MK Ultra, AI program. I haven't even gotten deep into the conspiracy theories yet. Prester John, Ameru Khan. Let's talk about how Walt Disney came up with the concept of Mickey Mouse and Goofy. Let's talk about the fact that Mickey Mouse and Goofy are the two kings of America. Goofy, Native American. You can't tell me Goofy's not a Native American. I can. Goofy's a Native American. Goofy. What the Italians used to call us, besides Mooley, Goofies. Woo! Woo!
They was all of them there. A Blackfoot, an old Patchy Chief, yep, an old Crazy Horse, and a Cleveland Indian. Then come Big Chief, rain in the face.
sound. You see, when you take away certain aspects, the sound sounds different, doesn't it? Woo! Goofy's a Native American. He's a goofy. Mickey Mouse. Mickey. You remember Mickey, right? But wasn't I thought Mickey was a racist term. Mickey was a racist term against the Irish. And yet we sit here, we celebrate today Mickey Mouse. What's the first thing Mickey Mouse did when he popped up with Disney? He ran a boat business. My nigga was import, export. Who did Mickey Mouse start dealing with? Goofy. What did Goofy do? Goofy had hotels. Goofy had cab service. Goofy had beauty salons. Goofy had movie theaters. Goofy had a whole plethora of things. Goofy had America sold up. Goofy had America sold up, bruh. Mickey, import export from Ireland, wanted a foot in. So he teamed up with Goofy. Because he saw that Goofy was overworking himself and he could do it quicker. And plus, he needed to move his people out of Ireland. Personal reasons. Mickey was a drunk, a gambler, and a cheat. Personal reasons. He needed to move his family out of Ireland. And where's a better place to hide a fucking mouse than amongst a bunch of dogs? So Mickey moved from Ireland to America and started working with Goofy. And everything was good. They had a famine every now and then, but everything was good. They were making plenty of money. They were making plenty of money. They had America sold up. Mickey was helping Goofy with the hotel business and entertainment business. Then what happened? Then America went to war. When's the first time we get introduced to Donald? World War II. Donald's a Nazi. Do not be confused. Do not be confused at all. Because Donald does not talk like that because he's speaking German. Donald talks like that because he's speaking Yiddish. It gets deep, don't it? Why do you think Donald's uncle is called Scrooge McDuck? He's a duke. He's a Nazi. He's an Ashkenazi. Even his uncle said that they have a shameful past. It's because they're Nazis. Donald tries to convince Goofy to sell his part of America. By the way, Donald and Goofy, being the two kings of America, split America in half, so to speak. All of Goofy people will take the West Coast. Not all of them, but most of them will take the West Coast. Why? Because Goofy has bloodlines in Asia. Are you listening to what I'm saying? Goofy has bloodlines in Asia. Mickey takes the East Coast. Why? Because Ireland's right there. Import, export. Who do you think he's running into? America, Ireland, UK. Just that simple triangle. America, Ireland, UK. Simple triangle. World War II happens. Germany gets involved. Donald Duck, the Nazi. And Donald Duck is not speaking German, he is speaking Yiddish. Yiddish. So, Donald not being able to convince uh, Goofy to sell his half of America convinces Mickey to stab Goofy in the back. It was during the famine.
She was the bosom friend of a once proud family.
Well, they're certainly out of the high rent district.
And there they are, 3 poor farmers gripped by the pangs of starvation. Still alive, still breathing, sharing a pitiful crust between them. Share and share alike, sharing and staring, staring and sharing.
Just tell it, don't ham it.
But are their spirits broken? Have they lost hope? Yes. Men facing famine, naught left but beans.
Bean, you mean?
If it were 1 man and 3 beans, but no, 1 bean and 3 men.
Well, at least there are no bones in it.
Just look at that miserable creature, doggedly struggling to maintain life. A gaunt, lean bag of bones and feathers. Truly a picture of despair. But Donald doesn't whimper. Donald doesn't give up.
Shut up! I can't stand it!
You have to actually watch Disney to be keeping up with the storyline of Goofy, Mickey, and Donald. Because you have to understand that Goofy, Mickey, and Donald, these are the big 3 when it comes to anime in the Americas. Felix the Cat, Tom and Jerry. These are our animes. These are our stories. These are our traditions. The damn Henry and the Railroad, so on and so forth. So, hear me when I tell you, follow the story, like the storyline story of Goofy, Mickey, and Donald. And understand that Mickey is from Ireland, Goofy is from America, and Donald's from Germany. Again, you've never been to a masquerade party? We have been associating people and countries with animals all decade. Do I really have to bring up Wakanda? His mask, his masquerade. Put it on cartoon and look at it. Really look at it. People wearing masks all the time. It's a masquerade in cartoons. Look at it. So, Mickey and Mickey and Goofy go to war with Germany. They fight the Nazis, they win. Donald comes back with Mickey. And Mickey tells Goofy the lie that Donald was a victim of the Jews, of the Nazis, when really Donald Duck was a Nazi. But he was not speaking German, he was speaking Yiddish. Because Jews don't know how to speak Hebrew. So, Donald convinces Mickey to sell his half of America because he couldn't convince Goofy. Mickey, realizing that he was tricked by Donald Duck, the Jew, doubles back and sells his half of America to Goofy for a pearl. That was his payment because Mickey tried to be slick. He tried to sell Goofy's half of America instead of his own. But again, Mickey, he's a drunk, he's a gambler, and he's a cheat. And he got caught cheating. But one thing about the devil knows when you're cheating, he's going to continue to cheat. See, now that you're thinking that you're getting over by cheating, you're going to bet more and more and more. And before you know it, you're betting everything, including your soul. And now that you think that you've been able to trick the devil the whole time by cheating in this game, a game that he introduced you to, you sit there and you think that you're winning and you're cheating. And it's fun because you're cheating and you're beating the devil. And the whole time he's just been waiting for you to bet everything. Bet your soul and all, bet everything. And as soon as you do, he's going to beat your ass. That's exactly what happened to Mickey. Mickey got so used to cheating that he bet everything and bet Goofy's half of America, claiming that it was his half, because he claimed that he was the sole king of America, when really he's not the sole king of America. He's a bipartisan king. Now, do you understand where that word comes from? Bipartisan, by patriarch, two kings is called what? A bi-patriarch, a bi-monarch. So, do you understand how everything relates? I'm glad we're here now. So, Mickey lied by saying that he was the sole king of America, when really it is a bipartisan or a bi-patriarchal regime here in America. Goofy controls the West Coast, Mickey gets the East Coast, and that's only a partial piece of the East Coast. Why is it only a partial piece of the East Coast? Because these aren't Mickey's lands. He just so happened to meet someone from here and create a agreement with them. These aren't Mickey's land. Mickey's just good at business. These are Goofy's lands. That's why you always see more Goofies in America than you do Mickeys. And you rarely ever see a Donald Duck. Think about that. If they really wanted to show you a representation of just a fairy cartoon land, why is everything balanced like that? Why is everything balanced in Goofy's favor? It goes Goofy, it goes Annabelle. Remember the cow? The cow was called Annabelle. Isn't it funny how the Egyptians worshiped the cow? Hathor, heifer. So Mickey's not even the second biggest population in America. He's not even the third. Why is everything so lean towards Goofy if it's supposed to be this cartoon magical world? Because it's supposed to represent something. It's telling a story of something. So, Goofy, being a Native American who has blood ties to where? Asia. Mickey being from Ireland. Donald Duck being from Germany. Germans used to be called ducks. Ducks. Flat feet. Ducks. So, watch the story of Donald, Goofy, and Mickey, because this is a true story and it's for your entertainment. Like I said, you can't be sitting here at this table and say that we are living in a Freemasonic country and don't agree that this is a Freemasonic entertainment system. You can't do that. That's not how that works. So, Mickey being caught cheating sells his soul. But he outsmarts the devil one more time by selling his land, property, and air rights to Goofy. And he sold it all for a pearl. So what does that mean? That means that it was a half-ass invasion from the start. They thought that they could come here forcefully. That didn't work. Then they thought they could come here by tricking. That half-ass worked. Because yeah, they could come here, but they were only allowed in certain places. Now, I want everybody to be very smart about this. Now that you understand that there is such a thing as a conditional forfeit, which is something that happens when it is determined that you will lose. Like there's no need for bloodshed or anything. It's called a uh, restrictive uh, subjugation or something like that. This also happens on the very, very rare chance that your king is like Mickey Mouse and your king is a drunk, a cheat, and a gambler. And he will gamble off sections of his own kingdom. Now, think Mickey Mouse auction off sections of his own kingdom, losing them in bets. Mississippi burning, the Chicago fires. It was a fire everywhere there was a world fair. Everywhere there was a world fair, there was a fire. What if these Nazis came here to America for the same reason that Mickey Mouse had to come here to America? Because they lost some bets. And they bet that everyone would accept the occultic version of Freemasonry, and they wouldn't. So, how do you create an AI system? You take a computer and you mix it with the soul, and that's your AI system. If it's fake, then why is it real? I'm waiting. If it's fake, then why is it real? I'll tell you why. The reason why it's fake, even though it's real, is because people refuse to accept what's right there in front of them. Why do Asians have these? Y'all forget that? Y'all forget how China, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Cambodia, why did they have these, but their heads were shaved? Why would they have these, but they would have one strand of hair? Why not just wrap that one strand? So Mickey sold his half of the kingdom to Goofy. Mickey, even though he protected his land, he lost his soul. Mickey Mouse lost his soul. Do you not remember Disney's orchestra, Disney Symphony, opera, whatever it's called? Remember when they were doing like the Nutcracker and everything, and at the end of the orchestra, the devil showed up. Y'all remember how out of nowhere Mickey Mouse started bowing down to the devil? Isn't it funny how every time Goofy was gonna go to heaven, Mickey went to hell? No one thought about that for a second. Think about that for a second. If you were a kid and you used to watch Disney House of Mouse, just 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 for all intents and purposes, say that I'm extremely high. But just think about this for a second. Why is it that Goofy always went to heaven, but Mickey went to hell? A majority of the time, Donald went to hell. But Goofy always went to heaven. Always. But Mickey always went to hell. Now, they would let you know that Goofy had some evil tendencies. He wasn't an angel, but he always went to heaven. Mickey always went to hell because Mickey sold his soul. Hollywood. Walt Disney owns Hollywood. What are you going to do? You can't get around it. And we all know Hollywood to be the most satanic place on earth, besides Israel. They could fake a Holocaust. They could fake a Holocaust and nobody would know. That's crazy. That's creepy. They faked a Holocaust just for us to pay taxes for them to invade another country. Deep. Real deep. So, yeah. This has been Conspiracy Rants. And after this, we should be getting back to our regular program. But I just want y'all to just think. Just you sit here, you claim to be a conspiracy theorist, or go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and think. Stop following the narrative that keeps you in a loop so they can have predictive programming to defend themselves. Think those old movies that we used to watch about Atlantis. Think Children of the Corn. That was a real thing. But because they showed you and they made it sound so unbelievably insane, and then they called it entertainment, you believe what you're watching isn't real. And what they call a documentary, you believe what you're watching is real. They faked the Holocaust. So, what if they fake World War II? What if they fake World War One? What if they faked slavery? Because, like I said, the more you backtrack, and you have to backtrack, because see, I want reparations. I want reparations and segregation. So I have to backtrack. The more you backtrack, the more you find that before the 1800s, there was no such thing as black people or African Americans. The more you backtrack past that is when you find that there was nothing but natives on this land. They had corporations on this land. They had houses on this land. And Jews were the visitors. It's like the further you go back, the further fake it is. Because if everything you see is real, because it's history, goes against what you know, which is fake, but they call it history. Well, everything's a lie. But to what extent? They used to eat us. The delectable Negro. What if everything's a psyop? And what if the clearest thing to do when dealing with a multiple kaleidoscope of psyops is wipe everything out that doesn't look like you? What if that's the easiest, simplest solution is to wipe everything out that doesn't look like you? Because whether white people want to accept it or not, they're not running the Illuminati. Black people are. Why do you think that they're called the 13 black families? Why do you think that all the royal crests and all the royal shields and all the royal sigils from Europe are all black? Bruh, Game of Thrones was about the fall of Granada. Oh yes, he is the king of the first men and the Andals. Play the word game, stupid. Because it's called Andal de Luz. Andal de Luz. Andal de Luz means Game of Thrones. And then you have the Scythians, the Visigoths, the Vandals. Of course, the Starks were Moors. But see, the Southern king was a Galamante, which is why he hated the cold. You do realize there were three Moors, right? There are the Mauritanians, there are the Moraines, and then there are the Galamantes. Hold on.
So their system is not stopping. And then finally, I want to say that we need one idea. And we're not thinking about a solution to the problem. We're dealing with all these other things, but these are diversions from the solution to the problem. And we have to start to think about a solution to the problem so that these young brothers and sisters who are here now, who are 15, 16, and 17, are not here 25 years later talking about these same problems. Now, how do I know that the white people know that we are going to come up with a solution to the problem? I know it because they have retina scans, they have what they call racial profiling, DNA banks, and they're monitoring our people to try to prevent the one person from coming up with the one idea. And the one idea is how we are going to exterminate white people, because that, in my estimation, is the only conclusion I have come to. We have to exterminate white people off of the face of the planet to solve this problem. Now, I don't care whether you clap or not, but I'm saying to you that we need to solve this problem because they are going to kill us. And I will leave on that. So we have to just set up our own system and stop playing and get very serious and not be diverted.
So not only do you have to free the land and help to liberate the rest of the planet Earth for political power again, you'll have to do it so that all humanity can once again get back on its proper course. And we can live life as it's supposed to be lived. Become more godlike. The object of this knowledge is to be a reflection of yourself in the mirror of history. And when you look in that mirror, you will see God, because each one of us are in the image of the Creator, the Ancient of Days, with the lamb woolly hair and the color of amber. And as Jeremiah said, he looked like the pitch of oven. Each one of us are reflections. When we look in the mirror, we see God. God shining forth from us. And if you truly believe in the Creator, then you know that you cannot accept a life other than the highest and the best that you can get out of it.